good afternoon, good day. Hello, my name is James DuBose, and thank you for joining us again for another install of Knack Systems CX Next and Now podcast. I'm going to be joined by some special guests here. We'll do some introductions in a minute, but I want to kind of level set a little bit. One of the things we find and we have in conversations with organizations is how would you rate your customer's experience, their ability to access information at any time through some sort of a portal, some sort of an informational access point. And not all too often, we talk to a lot of customers and they're like, oh, we have a fantastic customer experience. Our customer is very happy with it. And with the model that we currently have is currently working. But all too often, when we talk to the customers, we get much of a different story. It's dependent on getting a hold of an individual or an email inbox. There's delays, there's miscommunications, misunderstandings. And this just continues to add to frustration. And one of the things we're continuing to see is a considerable change in the persona of who these customers are, the buyers and the sales individuals associated with it, and their expectations. The requirement and the need to be able to gain access to readily available information on their account, their orders, their invoices, and others are table stakes for the Generation Z individuals that are coming into the business right now. And for an organization to not be able to provide that as a baseline service and capability is really starting to have negative impacts on new customer acquisition, customer satisfaction, and retention as well. So we're going to talk a little bit more about in this podcast about what is a B2B portal. There's a lot of different definitions. We're going to set the definition today from this point forward on what a B2B portal is. We've got individuals both from the Knack team as well as from the SAP team to talk a little bit about what SAP and Knack are doing in this space and the value this is going to bring to organizations such as yours. So without much more of a to-do, I'd like to do some introductions. Imran, would you introduce yourself, please, sir?
Sure. Thanks, Shane. Hello, everybody. My name is Imran Shahdad. I've been with SAP for 18 years, Global Vice President for our go-to-market solution for commerce, consumer industry, and customer engagement solutions overall, and responsible for all the go-to-market activities and alignment with our partners, especially with this new topic of B2B Self-Service Portal.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. Sandeep, please introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Sandeep Nalgundwar. I'm one of the partners here at Knack. Been in the SAP ecosystem since 1994. About 31 years of ERP and then a B2B portal in every shape and form, from the old custom build your own with Plumtree, etc. days to SAP NetWeaver portal to web channel to again build your own to making things work. So the idea here is it's a very near and dear topic to us. Why? Because as we meet many of our traditional SAP ERP customers, they say, I have all this intelligence, great information. It's all logged in my SAP system. How do I now give it to the right people, internally as well as externally? So I've been waiting a long time for this podcast. So this is amazing. Thanks, Imran, for being here. It's always fun to chat with you. This is especially great right now. So great to be here. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, gentlemen. All right, well, let's dive in. Let's kick things off here. A little light subject to get the podcast started off with. Imran, for those who may not be familiar, what exactly is SAP's definition and what are they bringing to the market here in the B2B self-portal space? Tell us a little bit about that.
Absolutely. So the SAP's B2B Self-Service Portal is a one-stop shop platform that we want to leverage for self-service capabilities. A lot of times our customers have a need where there are different personas, whether that is a field technician or a vendor or an internal employee that has information stored in disparate systems across ERPs or even their homegrown legacy systems as well. And to access that information and that to real-time information, there is clearly a need to expose that through a self-service. And that's where B2B Self-Service Portal comes into play. From an enterprise readiness and from ability to position this with ease and confidence, SAP B2B Self-Service Portal is based on our SAP Commerce Cloud. where we have thousands of customers that run billions of transactions worth of GMV through the system. So in terms of the scalability, enterprise readiness, this system is a scaled down version with a very targeted use case, focused on our ERP customers, S/4HANA, and even extended to our ECC customers, where we provide, without data replication, a real-time access to post-order use cases. And that's the starting point that we want to highlight, while as well as the platform capability to customize any unique use cases for self-service across different personas at will during the implementation.
Excellent. So we built on the Commerce Cloud platform. That's stupendous because, as we all know, that's industry standard, leading solution in the marketplace. As you mentioned, billions of transactions, tried and true platform servicing customer needs, and being able to take that, skinny it down for what's needed specifically for this use case is going to be very important for organizations that are looking to have an evolution in their self-service strategy.
Absolutely. And also what we observe, and one of the key areas is what was the need? Because we have had customers that have implemented our commerce solution and have extended the additional portal-specific use cases as well in our install base. The really need is it was a space where we are seeing a significant shift from a buyer's expectation perspective. We recently have collaborated with external parties to analyze where more than 1/3 of the buyers today are digital natives. So for them, they want Amazon-like experience. They want that digital capabilities. And to tap into that space and the need of the market, we wanted not a full-blown commerce solution that you have to implement, but a scaled-down version with a very targeted use case that we could deploy very quickly within weeks, so that customers can benefit and then expand from additional use cases as well. And tomorrow, the same platform, and it's a very critical point that I keep on highlighting, is, let's say a customer would want to start with the self-service use cases today. They implement the post-order, order history, order updates, invoices, payments from day one. And then tomorrow, as part of their roadmap, if they have a need to go full-blown e-commerce solution, there is no migration required. This is the same platform that can be then upgraded from a provisioning perspective to then take the advantage of all the investments that the customer may have done and then expand into the commerce use case as well.
So future-proofing the offering to meet the most customers' immediate needs, those high volume of calls and inquiries that are going to customer service, that are going to an inbox, that are going to a sales rep, taking that a use case, rapidly deploying that. We're going to talk a little bit more around that strategy, but then future-proofing that to say, if at one point in the future you choose to move to digital commerce, you take this same solution and expand it out to that. There is no throwaway associated with that.
Exactly.
Excellent. Fantastic.
What I'm loving about this approach, right? I'm now having traditionally been building portals on various technologies. The key difference, and so ever since SAP launched SAP Commerce Cloud, many of our customers at Knack have taken this route of using commerce as the B2B portal. And the value there is that in earlier days when we used to build the portals out, the technologies had a dead end. In the sense, I've seen customers when we walk in, even today, like James, the conversations that we have had recently with many of our SAP ERP customers who are looking at this portal, they have a order status portal. You can log in and see your order statuses. Oh, there is an invoice portal, AR portal. Why? Because you can log in here and check all your invoices, make your payments. Oh, there is a product portal. It has all the product information, catalog. But guess what? When you have to check on inventory or price, you have to call someone. So think about a customer journey. Tools exist, solutions exist, but they exist in isolation, not like the one-stop shop that Imran was talking about. And what this platform allows us to do, the B2B portal SKU allows us to do as an SI, is to deliver all the one-stop shop promises on one single platform, because it has all the features and powers. Uh, SAP is not taking things out of the features capabilities, right? What we are getting is a scale down license that we can now use to start a customer through a journey, which says that, hey, I just want to check on orders status inquiries and invoices initially, and then can I bring product catalog in? Can I bring quotations and pricing in? Can I bring ordering in? Can I bring service case management in? You can build upon it.
Yeah. And if I may add to Sandeep, that's a great point you're making, and to expand on that, what is also very important to understand from this offering is it's built to natively incorporate the master data, especially the customer master data coming from the ERP. Why is that relevant?
Beautiful.
It is relevant because you can define the organizational structure of a particular company, including their in-house as well as the external vendors, employees, field technicians, etc., as part of that customer data model within the platform. How is that beneficial? Is that you, on top of that, then you deploy the rule-based roles and permissions. So while you can have all these different functionality, I want to check the inventory. Maybe that's only relevant for a field technician. I want to check invoices and pay the invoices. Maybe that's relevant for a supervisor. So all different a la carte features, while deployed and made as a single code base, can be differentiated by the roles and the permissions that are native to the platform. And it provides that one-stop shop more holistically with a common platform approach.
Amazing. But I assume this is only available for S4 customers, right? What about our friends back in the ECC?
For our standardized integrations, where we, especially the post-order use cases, where we are claiming and I have deployed no need to replicate the data and a real-time access to the S4 out of the box, day one, that's been built for our S4 customers. However, if customers have ECC as an ERP system, a similar integration strategy can also be deployed for such customers, and it will be applicable to them. I'll go even a step further. If there is a customer that has a mix of SAP ERP, whichever flavor, and a non-SAP system, or their homegrown legacy system, there is no technical limitation in the landscape to integrate and interact from this portal to expose those self-service use cases.
How fortuitous.
So,
How fortuitous.
So James, I mean, piggybacking on what Imran just said, from what we are doing as an SI, what SAP is giving us is a toolbox for us to have a much further along starting point. What we can do with that toolbox now is a whole lot more. Whether it's bringing this fantastic cloud offering to the SAP on-premise customers, whether ECC or S4 or otherwise. And as Imran's saying, non-SAP products, it doesn't matter actually. The idea here is that this platform truly is scalable. Now, obviously, the implementation times might change, but as far as the strategy and roadmap is concerned, this is in line with all the customers who are looking to move to cloud, who are looking to get the benefits of cloud applications. Much easier and scalable way of doing things than what used to be earlier.
Excellent. Well, as we know, there's pick your favorite number of portal solutions available in the SAP ecosystem and otherwise. How is this, would you say that this is fundamentally different? I know you've touched a little bit about this in the conversation so far. But how would you say this is fundamentally different strategy and approach to the SAP ERP community than some of these other point solutions, or how SAP's approach this in the back with the old portal SKU or a built NetWeaver portal or other ideologies and the ways to skin a cat?
There are a few aspects and dimensions to that question, James, which I would like to highlight. One, there are different ways through which a portal can be built. A lot of times when it comes to the portal, it's a greenfield, built from scratch type of use case. So what we want to differentiate with the SAP B2B Self-Service Portal is a significant upstart from the core capabilities that most of the ERP customers would seek, is exposing the order process, the entire order to cash use case from not end user, but employees, vendors, other personas, where they can expose that real time to a portal where such information can be consumed effectively. So with that upstart use case, standardized integrations pre-built, and the flexibility that you can expand the use case to the needs and the use of a particular customer as part of the implementation is a significant differentiating factor for this offering. Second, with these turnkey solutions and the use case as part of the B2B self-service portal, we claim that we can have the customers live within the 6 to 8 weeks. That's a significantly short timeline for that standard use case. While additional discussions can be had for other use cases as well, but for the post-order, show me the order history across order types, show me the status of those orders, show me the invoices associated with those orders, and then maybe also extending to paying those invoices. That entire process can be deployed in weeks, which has a significant ROI, faster time to value, and a direct financial impact with the reduced touch point that this solution has to offer.
Wow. That's some serious impact. I mean, acceleration, de-risk, integrations out of the box, a rapid time to value. These are the things that organizations are looking to be able to put a solution in place to help offload a significant amount of these inquiries in a very short period of time at a very economical cost point as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
On the cost point, James, what I would also want to highlight is another differentiating factor when we compare to other portal solutions in the market out there. The commercial model of this solution is a flat fee based, and it has no limitation on number of users that you get to deploy across the personas. So we are not metered by any user limitations. It's purely a flat fee base with some infrastructure component that we set as the baseline. So that provides our customers a significant flexibility to expose this portal across the organization for different use cases, whether it is internal or external.
Excellent. All right, let's shift gears here a little bit. Thank you all very much, gentlemen, so far. All right, so we talked a little bit about integration. Very important, always top of mind as organizations are looking at this. How does the SAP integration, simplify these deployments? Talk a little bit about that, because I know that's always top of mind for the individuals in an area where a lot of things get stuck in the mud and the conversation's gone deep.
So, a couple of things. For standard scenarios that Imran talked about, S4 and this new B2B portal, they are already standard scenarios exist, integration exists, not an issue. For many customers who are looking to go beyond, right? SAP BTP with standard iFlows, integration objects that exist. So what we are doing is taking what SAP is giving us, and as a service provider, we are adding to that library of call it use cases, call it scenarios, as well as integration points. So for example, most of our customers say, hey, I have SAP BTP, which is the integration suite, as a part of our enterprise middleware. We can integrate that to bring in orders, order statuses, etc. Not just from my S4, but from my ECC, or in many cases, my non-SAP systems. So the beauty with this approach is the approach for us as an SI, there's a starting point, which is SAP native. Then there is a starting point that we can provide to a customer that's SAP BTP based, and then goes along that. So from our perspective, the way we see it as an SI, we build in the accelerators that then uses all these SAP tools and bring them to life for different segments of SAP customers, whether they are S4, ERP, or non-SAP. Imran, anything you want to add there?
No, that's pretty spot on. And what I would highlight is, especially with Knack Systems that has been in this space, providing a lot of cutting edge projects for our commerce solutions, the baseline code of the platform and the capability to expand those use cases and leveraging their expertise is absolutely rightly fit within what we would want to achieve from the solution.
Excellent. Well, you bring up a very good point around how did Knack get invited to the table here. Can you talk a little bit around the SAP Knack Systems collaboration and how we came, this B2B portal and this partnership on this specific topic came to be?
Absolutely. So this topic of portal has been out there for a few years, as Sandeep mentioned previously as well. And it's been a need and a demand from our customers and partners over the course of many years. So while we were evaluating on one end, how many of our commerce customers also have our SAP ERP, the stat that we got from internally is more than 90%. So we have a significant stickiness to our ERP solutions, ECC S4 combination, where we primarily have them as SAP as a backend system. So as part of that, with Knack Systems, we have been part of many different implementations with the large flagship customers of ours, where they have actually implemented these portal use cases as part of the overall commerce implementation. So not only from a advising, consulting perspective in understanding the customer's needs and demands, but also partnering in solutioning this offering. We partnered with Knack overall. And we foresee, based on the GA of the solution back from the May of this year, to further continue our partnership and go deeper with our install-based customers, especially the ERP install-based customers, to expand this use case of B2B Self-Service Portal.
Excellent. Well, thank you for that, sir. Sandeep, anything that's to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, look, the B2B portal category is not new, right? Everyone wants to provide a self-service solution. That's not being questioned. What we are seeing now is the need for what needs to exist in the B2B portal has gone way beyond what used to be true, let's say 10 years ago or 15 years ago. So what we have seen is that the type of questions that are being answered, how they are being answered, and then the context of how they are being answered becomes very important. So what we have done is taken all these customer requests, and we are working with Imran and the SAP solution team to put together our own accelerator that's in line with SAP's roadmap. So the idea here is not to reinvent the wheel. Idea here is to leverage what SAP gives us, but then go a step further, saying that, look, can we offer customers more? So for example, when we talk about role-based personas, it's very important for everyone. I know it's kind of obvious, but want to make sure that what we hear is what we want to tell you, is that when we talk about B2B portals with our customers, right, the traditional SAP ERP customers and accounts, they say, hey, the biggest consumers are, yes, customers, but also channel partners, dealers, distributors, salespeople, inside sales teams, manufacturers, reps, vendors, like Imran said, transportation providers. So the idea here is that the use cases as you go radially out of an organization, the use cases keep growing. So what we are seeing is that you can start small with orders, order status, etc., but it can grow into a full-fledged partner channel management solution or a customer self-service solution or a full rich product catalog. I mean, I'll think about a standard inquiry, right? What we have seen with our customers. More than 60 to 70% of the calls to any customer service organization in a company are for, I have a question about a product. Do you have it in stock? What is my price? When can I get it? Hey, by the way, what was my order? This is my order status. Can you tell me, has it been shipped? Last but not the least, hey, can you send me a list of invoices that you raised over the last 1 month or last 1 year or whatever that may be? Look at all these inquiries. They're all related to this 2 or 3 key use cases of orders, invoices, product information. What SAP is doing with this, bringing all this under one umbrella, is that I don't need, like I said again in the beginning of the discussion, one place to go for order status, another portal to log in for product catalog, and then another for payment of invoices. It's
like mushrooms.
That's what we are seeing. Yeah.
So you mentioned accelerator. Yes. Sorry, sir.
So I just wanted to maybe complement in addition, with that flexibility and 24/7 portal availability to the end user to consume that at their need and demand, rather than having to reach out to different systems or persons to get that information is a significant differentiating factor. What we also believe, as I started in the beginning, is the aspect of the expectation from the today's users who are digitally native to have a seamless experience. And that experience layer on the front end is a core component of this strategy as well. So as part of the packaging for this new offering of B2B Self-Service Portal, what we try to ensure as well as draw a differentiation from our overall commerce offering is that we included the headless component
Yes.
experience layer, the composable storefront standard as part of the flat fee. I want to emphasize that because that is unique and quite aggressive in terms of the packaging capability. That the composable storefront, including the CMS of SAP, the Smart Edit, is part of the access-based SKU or the solution that we have. Why did we do that? Because we want our partners like yourself to create your differentiation in that experience layer with additional use cases and also the flexibility of integrating with maybe non-SAP system or customers' legacy system and what have you, and with the headless approach that provides a significant capability right there.
Well, thank you
Oh,
for that, because it's a perfect
thank you.
segue into my next question for Sandeep, which is going to be, we talk a little bit about accelerators. For those who may not be aware, Knack Brava has been on the marketplace for a considerable amount of times, many years now, and has many happy, successful customers. You leveraging it exactly for these type use cases. So, Sandeep, tell us a little bit about that.
No, thank you. I mean, so what we have done is we have taken all the SAP tools and technologies like Smart Edit, like CMS, like PCM, a product content manager that's a part of this portal SKU. What we have done here with that is created amazing experiences. So number one, I mean, we learn from our customers also. Look, it's not just things that we have imagined in our head. When we started talking to customers about, hey, why don't you do this? Most of the ERP customers go, but most of my orders come in on EDI. I don't need an order entry system. I need an order status system. Great. Okay. We can get that for you. Then they come back and say, okay, but for the orders, I also need product information. Can I have reordering? So the idea here is that once they start seeing success, we have seen a lot of customer needs get crystallized. And based on which what we did was, as any SI would do, you do something once, it becomes an experience. Do something twice or three times, you start turning it into repeatable, quote unquote, best practices, right? But when we started seeing this 5 or 6 times, we said, hold on a second, we can actually codify this. So what we've done with SAP's team is on with SAP's guidance, as well as what we would call extension model, we have taken those best practices and what we heard again and again and converted that into an accelerator with a very simple use case that we are actually cannibalizing our own services, saying that something that used to take me 6 months can now be done in 12 weeks. So what we are doing with this is we are bringing a lot of value to our customers right up front, so that on day one, when we actually do the demos, we can actually show a customer what the solution could look like or what their B2B portal could look like on day one, right? So the starting point for our customers, the starting point for our implementation team is much faster. Again, a lot of names, a lot of success stories, right from building materials to industrial manufacturing to consumer products. Anyone who needs a B2B portal to keep their hundreds and thousands of customers happy, dealers or distributors happy, those are the use cases we are looking at. I know I'm avoiding names of customers on this podcast right now, but anyone who wants to see them, please go to knacksystems.com. You'll see all the customer logos there, as well as use cases and the details.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. All right, let's shift gears a little bit. Business outcomes, one of my favorite things to have a conversation with the executive leader. What are the business outcomes that we're trying to drive? What can customers expect to have as far as business outcomes from deploying a solution such as this? A lot of things that we're hearing a lot more and more from organizations is, how do I do more with less? Resources, time, cost, dollars, those type of, how do I automate? How do I offload repetitive, non-value add tasks and capabilities. Tell us a little bit about some of the business outcomes and the business benefits that we're seeing in organizations that are leveraging these types of solutions and how it's ultimately affecting their top and bottom lines.
Thanks for that, James. So the way I would separate that is in two contexts. So from a value of our B2B self-service portal, what does it give it? What are the benefits that we provide to the user, whether that is internal or external from a end customer perspective? And then the second dimension is from an organizational benefit perspective. What do they gain out of the B2B self-service perspective? The few points that we touched upon in the earlier part of the conversation from an end user standpoint, it's the personalized customer experience. It is the aspect of that they have the ability to get the information in the context that particular persona needs real time is a significant personalized customer experience where otherwise they would have to chase multiple systems or teams to get that information. That's a significant benefit from automation perspective. Second, ability to get the critical information real time. So the time is of essence, and especially in the job functions where some of the personas are in the field, they need that information real time. Having the ability to get not a delayed or laggard information, but a true real time connected with the ERP is the key capability which the customer can benefit from. And what are those? It could be a price check. It could be an inventory check. It could be the order status check. It could be I've been getting calls if my invoices has been paid. Has this invoice actually been paid? All that, and it can be expanded to many different use cases as well. And then also is the higher value from a sales engagement perspective. So where the need for catering to the end customer, the initial touch points are reduced through this automation. The focus from the sales, especially in context of the customers, can be on the additional higher value type of initiatives that the company can expand upon. From an organization perspective, a faster time to deployment. It is not an ERP system we are implementing. We're talking weeks that you can have a turnkey solution with real-time information available with pre-use cases as a starting point. That's a significant value, a key differentiating factor that the organizations can benefit from. Also, from the fact that you are providing this level of service to the end user, internal or external, clearly intrinsically increases the customer satisfaction from the overall experience standpoint, which clearly it has many additional benefits for a specific organization as well. And last but not the least, while we're talking very tactical use cases of post-order, I want to emphasize that, as I mentioned in the earlier part of the conversation too, this solution is also a platform. It's a comprehensive, enterprise-grade, fully scalable platform as it's based on our SAP Commerce Cloud to having the ability to build unique use cases to the customer's needs. If customer has a need of which is unique to them, unique to their IT landscape, unique to their system landscape, this platform provides that complete flexibility to provide that self-service capability.
Excellent. Now, those are all high impact, but how about our friends in IT? Sandeep, you want to talk a little bit about how this methodology, this platform provides not only significant business benefit and impact, but also how it affects our friends in IT?
So let's talk about two personas who would pay attention to something like this. Director customer service. So for example, James, many of the studies that we have done with the value engineering team at SAP, the standard number, Imran, that we are seeing is that every call typically costs around $50 to $60. I mean, depending upon what they do, right? Like you said, if the agent is jumping off from going to 20 other systems and getting the details, it costs money. So that's number one. The second one is, hey, if I'm going to have as a director IT, if I have 5 different portals to take care of, there is a cost associated with those 5 portals, each with their own skills, each with their own people, each with their own teams, each with their own integration points that you have to manage. By consolidating into a one-stop shop, it's not just a benefit for the end customer and the people whom you're serving, but also to you who's managing the systems. One set of skills, one set of integration, one set of reliable infrastructure that they can use. I know we'll talk more about this, but there is an intrinsic value in the platform itself. It is the SLA-based cloud offering from SAP. It's not just a on-premise software that's going to be managed by some IT teams in various locations, right? So it's an SAP's how do I put it? It's an scalable cloud-based platform that I shouldn't have to worry about as an SI whether it's up or down. I mean, SAP takes care of that for me, right? So suddenly there are some value props here that IT organizations can get, the decision makers who are budgeting for this, who can make the ROI is very, very, very easy to establish, if I can use that term.
Excellent. All right. So let's change up topics a little bit here. Best practices. Best practices are something I'm always constantly asked upon. These things lead to not only the reduction, cost, and risk associated with projects, but also around customer satisfaction around self-service. Tell us a little bit about that.
So from a best practices perspective, there are two ways to think through this. One is what should I do? And secondly, how? The what, the good part with what Imran has been talking about is there's a starting set of what. That means I shouldn't have to worry about, see, commerce gets a, how do you put it? There's a reason why people say commerce takes too long. Why? Because the question that's being asked in any commerce implementation is what is it that you want to do? In B2B portals, we are flipping that question. We are basically saying, hey, this is what we can do. Now let's make it happen. So straight away, take a look at how a project starts, right? We are showing them what the end result could be and then arriving at a pathway to get to that end result. So that's number one. Number two, in terms of best practices of how do I implement it in a consistent manner and give you a reliable risk-free result as an SI. So what we as Knack are trying to do is convert even that using accelerators for use cases, accelerators for integration, so that most of the ERP companies that use SAP ERP or ERP systems, S4 or ECC, they don't have to reinvent the wheel. There are solution is 80% ready. Now it's a 20% tweaking and tuning rather than coming up with a blue sky approach saying, hey, tell me what you want.
Excellent. You want anything there to add?
No, that's pretty spot on. In terms of, the question that customers may at times have is, why do I need this right now?
Mm-hmm.
And there are a few propositions that we have as to that why, especially the customers that have an ERP install base, and more especially the customers that have gone through the journey from ECC to S4 and are already live in S4. So for such customers, where the next logical use cases would be automation, reduction in touch points, how can we expand the information from these ERP systems to a self-service portal, it fits very well. What our solution does provide is built for your business. We, to Sandeep's point, we have an upstart with a very prescriptive use case, which is the post-order use case that we have been highlighting, but that's a starting point. Mm-hmm. We always have to position this in two dimensions. It's the out-of-the-box capability with a prescriptive use case, which is post-order use cases, and the platform capability, which provides the maximum flexibility in building out the use cases as part of the implementation with SAP or non-SAP systems as well. So both can go in parallel, but we can have a turnkey solution quite quickly. There is no need for the out-of-the-box use cases that we've been highlighting, need for any middleware. These are all that can be managed without that. If a customer would want to have some custom data objects loaded, especially with customers that have the ERP we can leverage customers' enterprise middleware for that purposes. But for the initial use cases, there is no need for that. We also provide is from a best of breed solution perspective, especially on the front side of the things, while we highlight the composable storefront, which is an Angular based capability of ours. There is also a robust SAP ecosystem in context of additional options there that can be explored as well. And last, not the least, is a critical component, which Highlight mentioned earlier, is that it is the same system that has a seamless path to full commerce. So
Yes.
start small,
Future-proof.
and it's a future-proof solution where you can then expand into the full commerce capability.
Excellent.
I mean, James, this is why all of Knack customers who took this route, they are truly, truly, truly excited. Why? Because yes, I started with order statuses, but I moved on to product catalog. I mean, I cannot overemphasize the importance of the transition without having to re-implement. There is no re-implementation. You continue the path based on your timelines, your budgets. There is all we are doing with this pre-packaged approach is giving a starting point. It's like, when you train someone to ride a bike, you give them a little push. And once they figure out how to pedal, they're on their own, right? What we are doing with this approach is basically just that, saying, hey, in the self-service journey, let's start small, but let's start with assurance. Let's start without risk. Let's start with higher chance of success, and then we can grow upon it. And the success gets its own ROI and more investment to be made as we go along.
Excellent. All right. So what could be some of the fastest, paths for, an organization adopting this type of an approach, these type of business impacts, with the portal in conjunction with Knack Brava? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, call Knack. That's it. But jokes aside,
phone numbers down below.
So truly, and the numbers around here, call me. Yeah. Jokes aside, truly, this is a new SKU from SAP. So if you are an SAP ERP customer, please call up your SAP CX rep or call Knack. We can guide you. What am I saying? Call Knack. Yeah. That's number one. Secondly, James, the what, why, and how, that package that we are put together of very quickly telling you, hey, is this the right solution for me? What can I get? As Imran is saying, yeah, 6 to 8 weeks. Is this real for me? What can I get in that time? So we can start that. Any customer that has gone through the SAP S4 journey, in the sense whether a Grow or a Rise customer, this actually is the next logical step, folks. I mean, Imran, I'll let you add to that.
No, that's pretty spot on, and that's the proposition that we have. This is the logical extension of the ERP. That's the lens our customer should look at the B2B self-service portal. We are putting a face on top of the ERP for the end user. And this experience layer is where the differentiation can be created for various audiences, and we provide all the tools and the capabilities within this platform to do so.
Well, more than a face, you're putting the ability for the customer to reach into ERP and get whatever information that they need when they need it and how they need it at their leisure, to be able to not, like you may put those requests upon sales, service, or other individuals within an organization, repurpose those individuals to be more proactive, more value added, and that's something that's going to sing to everyone in an organization. Not only do you servicing your customer, but you're offloading that workload from your internal teams as well. All right, well, gentlemen, we could go on an insatiable amount of time, but I appreciate both of you. This has been absolutely a very informative conversation discussion today. Specifically talking around SAP's B2B portal offering. We're very excited about this offering coming to the marketplace. We're very honored that Knack has been selected by SAP to be a pilot partner, part of this. Leveraging the Brava accelerator, either continues to add additional value, decrease risk, time, and cost to deploying of these use cases and these projects. With the extensive experience that the Knack team brings on growing out B2B portal on multiple organizations of different sizes and industries, in conjunction with the creative and future-proof solution that SAP's been able to put together from a commercial terms. This is a great 1-2 punch in organizations to be able to unlock that information, the access to those important and key components within their ERP system, and hand that access and that self-service capabilities to their customers and prospects. I want to give a big shout out, a big thank you to both of you gentlemen for all your insight and all your input today. Once again, my name is James DuBose. I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in for another copy of CX Now and Next. If you like topics such as this and others, please subscribe. Who knows what we'll do next? If you've got some requests, reach out to me. Send me something, a topic you'd be interested in talking about, or someone you'd be talking to, and I'll run them down. We'll get them on here, and we'll talk soon. So thank you all very much for your time, your input. Gentlemen, thank you for your participation, and we look forward to our next engagement.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.